Fighting games! Fighting games! Fighting games! Fighting games? Fighting games! I love fighting games. Am I any good at them? Heck no! But I still love them. I love Tekken, I love Street Fighter, X-Tekken. Why is that here? I love Street Fighter, I love Soul Calibur, I love Battle Fantasia Hidden Gem. I like Godzilla Unleashed. I love fighting games, but my favorite fighting game of all, my favorite fighting game franchise would have to be Smash Brothers. The very first game in the Smash Brothers franchise is Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 64, released in 1999 in North America by Nintendo. I currently do not own a copy of this game, but oh yeah, I've played it. In the late 1990s, Masahiro Sakurai teamed up with Satoru Iwata, a coder at HAL Laboratory, to create a fighting game with a twist. The game, at the time, titled Dragon King the Fighting Game, was indeed very different from other fighting games at its time. It was a 4-player battle royale, and it utilized the Nintendo 64 joystick more than most Nintendo 64 games at the time. The two worked together on weekends to make this concept spring to life. In the beginning, it was built around generic characters fighting it out in settings from photos taken outside of HAL Laboratory's office. But Sakurai wanted something bigger, something better, something that Dragon King's lame brawlers did not deliver. They then decided to use Nintendo characters from a ton of different Nintendo franchises without getting permission from Nintendo themselves. A little bit later, Sakurai and Iwata approached the Big N with an unauthorized build of the game. And surprisingly, Nintendo okayed the idea. Dragon King was dead, and Super Smash Bros. Was born, with a roster of 12 playable characters from 9 different franchises, such as The Legend of Zelda, Mario, Kirby, and Pokemon. Once the game released, it was definitely a success, with positive reception from Nintendo fans, mixed reviews from critics, and over 5 million copies sold. The game was much different from other fighting games. As opposed to trying to bring your opponent's health bar down, you tried to raise their percentages to wring them out. Due to the success of Smash Bros. On the N64, 2 years later, on the Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo released Super Smash Bros. Melee. So as I said, Melee was released 2 years after Smash on the N64 in 2001. And let me just say, this fighting game kicked butt! It took a fun premise from its predecessor and raised it to a whole new level of awesomeness. Everything is awesome! With a character roster boasting 25 playable characters, massively enhanced graphics, smooth controls, faster gameplay, more items, and a North American introduction of the Fire Emblem characters, which led Nintendo to release the Fire Emblem series internationally. So just think, without Smash Brothers, Fire Emblem probably would not exist in North America. Melee was also the best-selling GameCube game with over 7 million copies sold. Overall, Melee was an excellent game. After Melee did extremely well, Smash Brothers fans were obviously so excited for the next game in the franchise. And is it better than Melee? Well, Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Nintendo Wii. 7 years later. Jump 7 years later, and you get Smash Bros. Brawl for the Nintendo Wii. In my mind, this game was not as good as Melee. The gameplay slowed down, the graphical jump was not as major, and the controls and controller were not nearly as good as Melee. But does that mean the game wasn't good? Heck no, the game was great! The game's music was superb, and the character roster jumped to a whopping 39 playable characters. Speaking of the character roster, Nintendo took a little risk and added some third-party characters, such as Snake Eater from Metal Gear Solid and the beloved Sonic the Hedgehog, who isn't doing too well nowadays. Anyway, the game sold well with over 12 million copies. Anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, or you can feel free to comment in the comment section below. Or you can like, or you can subscribe. I think I already said that. I think I just did. Yeah, I did. See you guys next time. Boom! On the shelf.